Good evening, everybody. Again, if you saw me streaming or streamed earlier, this is a little different for me. Euro Truck Simulator 2. I've actually played this a little bit. According to Steam, 13.3 hours. I can't remember. I actually started playing on this MacBook MacBook Air you can see behind me. Not ideal, but you could run it fairly smoothly. About 30 frames per second on a good day with a following wind. I'll probably talk more about that experience later. But it was suggested to me that this might be a good game for streaming. So I thought, well, let's give it a try. And in fact, I'm not sure I like the fact that the desktop audio is that high. Give me a second. Let's just bring that down a bit. So, I set up a profile, deleted my old one, and I have set my truck home base, as it were, to Klagenfurt am Wörthsee in Austria. And you may be thinking, why on earth would you do that? And the answer is because I used to live in Villach, just down the road, so it's not exactly like coming home, but it's fun and slightly familiar from what I recall. Right, let's see what I'm doing, because I don't remember a thing about this. I'm also curious to see how hard it hammers my... Right, okay, where am I going? What am I doing? I have no idea. Which way am I facing? Oh, we're moving! Yes, I don't know what I'm doing. In case anybody's wondering, I am running the graphics at absolute maximum, and I can't remember which side of the road I'm supposed to be on. Oops. Oh yes, I can. I don't think this looks like Klagenfurt. Does it? Or maybe it does. I don't have a steering wheel for this. I don't play driving games enough to warrant it, so I'm just using keyboard and mouse. Now, I don't know whether this looks better than I remember, or is this just me? As I said, I've got the graphics cranked to max. I might show you that later. It's not hammering my system that much. In fact, it's... Yeah, the GPU's only at 85% max. I could... Slightly disturbing that the frame rate is dropping even though I'm not maxed out. Where am I going? Oh, straight. Okay. I'm really not used to it anymore. Oh, alright. Was that all I was doing? Oh, okay. Try not to smash the expensive cars. I was never any good at that. Alright. Let's see if we can see a bit more of the countryside. Huh. Alright. Let's see where we can go. Klagenfurt to Vienna? Klagenfurt to Vienna, Klagenfurt to Vienna, Klagenfurt to Vienna. Alright. Let's go Klagenfurt to Vienna. Excuse me. How do I get out? Oh, that's good. I was gonna say I don't have to ram through the gate, do I? Be very curious to see how much I recognize. With the countryside. The only issue is that when I went to out of Villach to somewhere else, generally took the train, so not quite the same as travelling along the road. Or the bus. I forgot. Yeah, we would take the bus sometimes. Well, this is more relaxing than I remember, but I'm not on the road yet. It's taking more concentration than I remember. I do know at some point, if I head the right direction, you can actually go past Villach. Unfortunately, you can't visit it, which is a bit of a shame. Trying to interpret the... Ah, I go that way. I love the fact that they sent me email while I was driving. Well, I'm not sure I love it so much as it's kind of funny. You know, for a game that came out, what, 2012? It does look remarkably good. Now, I grant you, it's not quite the same as if they were actually... I don't know. How much of this is being rendered? How much of it is sort of fixed images? It doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, if it was fixed images and you're just driving by, it still looks remarkably good. In my opinion. Now, I can't see. Is it safe to... Yes. Would be kind of cool if I could open up a couple of separate windows on my side monitors. I think I could probably afford to do that. In terms of space and monitoring everything that I'm supposed to monitor. And I just had a sudden thought, no microphones on. That would have been embarrassing. Done that before. Where I forgot the monitor, the microphone wasn't on. Oh, wow. Brakes on this thing are like a sports car. I think I'm supposed to go up here. Towards Graz. Yeah, I guess so. Did like Austria. Probably one of my favourite places I've ever lived, to be honest. But, you know, circumstances change. My son went to kindergarten there for a couple of years. Came out of it speaking German like a native and Italian. Apparently he'd picked up Italian from one of the kids at school. Oh, it does not feel like you have much room on this road. Oh, that's a nice view. I'm not going to say if I saw this view I would immediately think of Austria. Probably wouldn't, to be honest, but it's still a nice view. Oh. Going too fast. Anybody remember how to turn on traction control? Not traction control. Cruise control. I'll have to look that up. When I was playing a few years ago, my son was constantly having to tell me which key did what, and I've probably forgotten all that now. Makes me want to turn... Oh, here we go. Wien. Makes me want to turn on the radio. And again, that's something else I can't remember how to do. I think you can turn on the radio, can't you? Remind me to check the keyboard later. ...201 kilometers. I do like the way that they manage to capture the essence of a place and yet compress everything down, because obviously if you were driving 200 kilometers in a truck at 80 kilometers an hour, it's not going to take 10 minutes to get there. But they do manage to capture the essence of a lot of it. It's actually really clever, I think. You get the same sort of feel from American Truck Simulator, which I also have. Because before I lived in Austria, I lived in Tucson, Arizona, and it does the same thing, captures the essence of the drive without displaying all of it. Depending on how much interest I get, I might make a more regular thing of this. Yeah, nice little towns there. The way to travel around, at least Vienna, is definitely by train. You do get to see the countryside. and that's a nice little detail. Yeah, I ought to run up American Truck Simulator. Go wandering around. I think the default states for American Truck Simulator, because I don't have any of the DLCs, are Arizona, Nevada, and California. And some of that I used to be quite familiar with. So it'd be very interesting to see how much of it I sort of recall. Because not only did I used to live in Tucson, Arizona, I used to live in San Francisco as well. Well, technically outside of San Francisco. Walnut Creek, to be precise. So there's a fair old chunk of California I got used to driving up and down. Having said that, one of the most boring roads I've ever driven on is in California. Going up the Central Valley. Oh, brother, that is one of the most tedious roads I've ever been on. Trying to think. What are the most boring roads I've ever been on, apart from that one? I can't remember what the name of the road is. It's the one that takes you sort of up through Fresno. I did not find it to be a fun drive, it has to be said. I'm going too slowly. I don't care. There's a section of oh grief, I cannot remember if it's I-20 or I-10. What's the interstate that goes out of Atlanta and heads west? Yeah, when you start getting through, that can be quite boring. You see nothing but trees, and I swear it looks like someone copy and pasted the same tree for hundreds of miles. That's not... Yeah, that gets a bit much, has to be said. It's I-10, isn't it? Is it I-10 or I-20? Damn. If you'd asked me 20 minutes ago, I'd have remembered. It's been over a decade since I was there. I think it's I-10. Anyway. Curiously, driving across Texas I did not find to be boring. You'd think driving across most of East Texas is quite boring, sort of from the Louisiana border towards New Mexico. West Texas, by the way. Yeah, that's where it gets particularly interesting. But I wasn't actually bored, per se. I still remember going through Abilene, Texas. They got a sign out, or used to have, many, many years ago. It said, "Welcome to Abilene, home of the 10-minute rush hour." Hang on. Yeah, according to this, I go straight on. Alright. I mean, it is profoundly flat, but it's not a bad drive. Is that how these streams are going to go? Me talking about drives I've taken? Well, it's a driving game, so... It's a good job they put the brakes on these things, like, they're quite vicious. I'm pretty certain you can't slow a truck down in reality like this. Having said that, I have had to use simplified controls, for obvious reasons. Willkommen in Österreich. Oh, yeah, you see, all you gotta do is hit the brakes at exactly the wrong point, and, well, right point. And a little too long, brother, do you slow down. Ooh, probably violated a law or three there. I haven't used my indicators once. Anybody remember what I was delivering? I don't. Yep. A bit too vicious on the brakes there. Yeah, it's been quite gentle on the system, which is interesting. Well, it's not interesting. Yeah. If I wasn't streaming, I could crank the frame rate up. This is kind of interesting that even though I'm only running at 70% on the GPU, but the frame rates. That's a little odd. Streaming faster than than the game is running. It's an unusual circumstance. I can't drive this thing to save my life, so yeah, I'll let it do it. That is kind of fun. That has to be said, that's sort of soothing, to be honest. Yeah, I love this part, you see. It says the time taken 4 hours 2 minutes, and I've only been streaming for 23 minutes, and I've done 2 jobs. So yeah, the distance compression and time compression is, I think, I'd love to know how they do it. It's remarkable. Oh, unassigned skill points. Forgotten about this. What do I want to do? Right. What's new upgrades? Nah, I'm not going to do that. Oh, so I'll, okay, now, 2 things I wanted to do was, let's have a look at Hang on. What was it I wanted to do? Options. So yeah, just in case you're wondering what the graphic settings I'm using are, there you go. I've basically set it for 60 frames a second because that's how fast I'm streaming. I could run faster than that, but there doesn't seem to be much point. And scaling is... oh, let's really kick the scaling up. I don't normally bother with anti-aliasing. If the resolution's high enough, you don't technically need to. And yeah. Seeing as I have some... alright, let's see what that looks like, see if I notice any difference. So we'll apply that. And okay, let me see if I can't remember some of the controls. Yeah, you see I'm doing keyboard only. I'm told using the mouse to look around or to steer is quite quite good. But what I want to see if I can remember is... yeah, no, that's way beyond me. It's going to have little keys and buttons. Okay. Steering, left, steering, right. Start, stop, parking, brake, wipers. Oh, that's a good one. I have to remember that. L, A, F, horn, air horn, beacon. C is cruise control. Yeah. What else did I need to remind myself of? I can't remember. I can't imagine myself remembering all this, to be honest, but then I guarantee my son would remember it. Okay, so... ooh, head tracking? I suppose that's for VR. Alright, so what else did I need to remember? Don't know. Alright. Well, let's do another job. Oh, hang on. Do I need to check? Where's my email? It's probably... oh, bang. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Let's do another job. Let's see if we can get somewhere just a little more interesting. What I want to do is go past Villach. So have we got a job in Innsbruck or Salzburg? Where's Linz? Linz is over there. I just want to go down this road. Or this one. See if I can see Villach. Vienna, 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 Graz. Salzburg! Yeah, let's go to Salzburg. And yep, I have just kicked up the GPU utilization to 100% by dramatically improving the scaling. Probably want to drop that down a bit at some point. Probably don't want to go charging down this road either. That doesn't sound good. Let's just slow down a bit. I love the fact that they've got a 70 kilometer an hour speed limit down here. Got a suspicion if you actually tried that in a truck, the results would not necessarily be conducive to one's health or mental sanity. Stability, I should say. Now, I have seen views very much like this. in Austria. It's quite evocative, actually, I can tell you. And the Villach area apparently is quite fascinating because you're so close to, was it, Croatia and Italy, so you've got this mixture. It's quite fascinating. And apparently during World War One, when the Italians were fighting in the mountains on the borders with Austria, you could actually hear the fighting from Villach. And judging by the number of people watching so far, it seems that Euro Truck Simulator is not as popular as Warframe. Yeah, sending me mail while I'm driving, probably not the best option. Don't tell me it's actually got a way for me to check my mail. Remind me not to press any of the function keys because I use those to control OBS and I don't want... yeah. I do not wish to suddenly stop streaming. That would be embarrassing, so at some point I might have to invest in a Stream Deck and use that instead of function keys. Apparently there's a plugin for the Stream Deck for OBS, so that would be useful. Yeah, let's not go charging through a small town at too fast a speed. Ooh, where is this? Nope, don't remember that. Classic little bus stop there. Almost makes me want to stop the truck and get out and go for a walk. Yeah, Graz and Villach. There we go. Not exactly home sweet home, but yeah. Close. Yeah, if you're looking for a tourist destination, consider Austria. Yeah. I wish you could actually visit, but I don't think you can get off the road and visit Villach. Bit of a shame, really, but it's not that big a place for 50,000 people. supposed to go down here? I think I am. Ooh, going too fast for me. Oh, here we go. Salzburg is interesting. Can't remember the name of the castle in Salzburg. Magnificent thing. Well worth a visit. And I have engaged the cruise control, and of course my steering just goes completely haywire. I swear, the frame rates in this thing are odd. It almost seems like the faster you go, the smoother the frame rate. Or the higher the frame rate. And yeah, I pretty much maxed out the GPU now. It's at 99%. 400% and 200% rendering. Yes, that's gonna hammer your system, I imagine. Why did I start slowing down? Oh, it's just the road, I think. Oh. If I wasn't paying attention, and now I can't figure out which one I'm going through. Which one of these am I supposed to go through? Why do I get the feeling that I am going through completely the wrong way? Maybe not. If I get stuck under here, that will be profoundly embarrassing. There we go. Something's beeping at me, and I'm not sure what it is. Better suspicion it's my earbuds. Still remember the first experiences I had with cruise control. Grief, that was back in '96, I think. Yeah, weird. I wasn't used to it at all. Oops. Clipped the sign by the road. Shouldn't those fans be turning? Ugh. This would probably be better with a steering wheel. What's really funny is... Oh. Sorry. I wasn't watching what I was doing. I wonder if you can lose your license in the game. That would be hilarious. Oh. Sorry, wasn't watching what I was doing. I hope that's the 1,000 meters and not 1,000. It was 1,000 meters, wasn't it? 1,000 kilometers wouldn't make much sense. Oh, that's kind of amusing. I don't... Yeah. Actually, I was complaining about the frame rate. Well, not complaining. Yeah, you know what? when you're running at 100% on the GPU and your frame rate's, yeah, that level, you know you're pushing the graphic settings a bit much. So I will probably drop those down in future. It still behaves remarkably smoothly, though, it has to be said. But I was saying, yeah, when I first started playing the game, I was playing on MacBook Air, and it was funny. Even at 30 frames a second, it was quite playable. It was quite smooth. You think 30 frames a second? No. If the game's designed for it, you can make a 30 frames a second game that's quite smooth. And this game seems to do it quite nicely. In fact, let's just drop the graphic. Yeah, that's excessive. Let's just go down to 100%. I'm sure that will improve things. Alright. Yes! That's better already. Hello, hi Carl. Welcome to Salzburg. Well, Himmelreich, to be precise, but We are technically in and around Salzburg at the moment. I don't know if we get to see the castle. How can you have Salzburg, but not the castle? Where am I going? Oh, a bit further. Pretty certain I'm not supposed to be in the middle of the road like this. Let's see if I remember my lights. Hey! I remembered the indicators. And I can't see the traffic light. Salzburg. Yeah, I had a plan to stream maybe with my son, but he's busy this evening, so that's why I thought, okay, I'll stream late in the day. Made sure I had a good nap this afternoon. And I'm not joking at all. But I did stream Warframe earlier. Alright, I'm going to do one more trip, I think, and call it a night, because for me it is 11:45 in the evening, which is, yeah, I should be trying to get to sleep. So, where are we going to go? Bratislava? Let's go to Graz. Just so that I can... Nuremberg. Prague. I don't want something to take too long, to be honest. Ah. There's Salzburg, there's München. Let's go Salzburg to München. No, I'm remembering the lights and I can't see the difference on the screen. Oh, I've played it before. You know, for a game that came out in 2012, you know, it's actually pretty good. Still got quite a following. This is Austria. For the purposes of the game, I set my home base in Klagenfurt am Wörthsee, because I used to live just down the road there in Villach, and it's quite evocative. I did love Austria, I've said that before, but yeah, look at this. Austria is a beautiful, beautiful country. If you live there, get prepared for the winters. They have serious winters, without being massively serious. They're proper winters in a way that you can appreciate. Oops, I think the trailer's swerving all over the place. Oh, you've got cows! And they're animated! We have animated cows. I don't think I noticed that before. I need to pay attention to where I'm going. Oops, I hope there are no pedestrians there. That could have been squishy. Okay, I can safely say that the fact that the game isn't running at 60 frames a second there is due to issues with possibly the cap I've got on it, because my GPU is only running at 66%, so it's not because it can't. I think it might be frame cap issues. Some of this you're seeing here is classic Austria. Even to the bus stop there. Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to try and do. Figure out the radio, wasn't it? Pretty certain there's a radio in this game. Hang on a second. Is there a radio in this game? Hang on. I am curious, because I could have sworn there was options. There you go. What's the... Let's see. No, okay. Truck. Horn, light horn. Thought there was an option to turn on the radio. Apparently not. There isn't a radio? There's a walk mode? I didn't know there was a walk mode. Radio! There is a radio. Okay. Oh. Okay, hang on a second. Huh. What do we want to listen to? Oh. Classical? Somebody's versions of...
Rejs langs je hele sommer. Himmelbilletter, der kommer.
Okay. Oh! I just realized this might actually be a terrible idea. Because I might get a copyright strike. Ah! Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I don't want to get a copyright strike for playing in-game music. Let's, do they have a talk radio? Yes, they do.
Lieten ze dat gewoon gebeuren?
Ja, nou ja, vanuit de club werd er in ieder geval niks aan gedaan. En dat
Alright,
kan ook niet.
that's-
Op een gegeven moment, ja, als ze geen lid meer zijn, ja.
Do they have talk radio in English? Because I don't speak Dutch.
En die probeerden
Ja, daar ben je ook achter gekomen.
Ja,
Maar ik bedoel, ze legden zich daar dus vrij makkelijk bij neer. Dat de Joden geen lid meer mochten zijn van PSV.
Should aspire to being wealthy. Is that what you just said?
No, I'm saying we shouldn't aspire to that.
We should not aspire.
We shouldn't feed them. You know, we should try and think about what we're doing, where we're spending our money, how we're spending it.
I think this is a real radio station.
I think we'll be happier. I think we'll be a better nation. I think we'll be happier people. I think it's just we've got so used to it.
Well, one statistic that keeps coming back to me is I know that people sort of raise their eyebrows when it comes up, but it's the World Happiness Index. And what is the point of life unless it is?
Oh, it's raining.
At least of happiness. Nobody is on their deathbed wishing they'd updated their iPhone frequently, or they wish they'd worked more weekends so that they made more money. Happiness during your life is what's important. And I find it interesting that the countries that usually score well above us in the happiness index also happen to pay more tax. I mean, the tax to GDP ratios in OECD countries is, I think France is at the top, which usually scores above us for happiness, but Denmark most certainly does. Finland, Norway, Sweden, all high-tax countries, all rating their quality of life better than ours. And by quality of life, I just mean, do they feel secure? Do they feel content? Are they happy with the way that their government is acting and spending their tax money? And the answer is yes. And from the top, tax to GDP ratios, France is at the top of the list, and then it goes France, Denmark, Italy, Austria, Belgium, Finland, Norway, Sweden, Luxembourg, Greece, Netherlands, Germany, Spain, Slovenia, Iceland, Portugal, Slovakia.
Probably a mistake to turn on talk radio because now I'm tempted to comment.
So I think the idea that we're a very, very highly taxed country is actually not true. We may be compared to America, but you don't get much for your tax money in America. Specifically, I'm thinking about the health service that is available. It costs you £1,000 just to step into an ambulance. Manchester, hello, Raj.
Hi, Nick, how are you?
Very well, thanks. Yeah.
Do you not reckon there could be some sort of link there between high tax and happiness?
I just said that.
No, but should other countries look at that?
I'm tempted to see if I can find a news show.
Well, yes, but any time anybody suggests that we pay more tax, then greed kicks in, and even if it did benefit us in the long run, or even in the short run, people just don't want to give up any money that is in their pocket to put it in the pot in the middle that is used for the benefit of all.
So basically, 90% of the population.
And now I'm finding I'm listening to the radio as much as I'm playing the game, which is kind of funny.
Most people would benefit because most people don't use private schools, most people don't use private health, and most people use roads and rely on the police and so on.
And also, just now when you just mentioned the other countries that are happy, I wonder how many people, the rich people who are in these Norwegian countries, if you like, Denmark, there's the country Sweden, Norway, so how many of their kids go to private school?
Well, I don't know what the answer to that is, but I do know that Finland, which is always right at the top of the happiness index, they don't, apart from very few exceptions for, I think, special needs and so on, they don't have private schools.
There's going to be something in that.
Okay, I'm just curious. I want to see if I can find a news show. News! Oh, but not in English.
Take away the nationality. We'll have our British nationality back.
Huh.
So you can go and reside in.
Can I filter by genre?
To be an Italian resident, but you're not going to come back.
If you take away their ability to come back, yes, I think that.
Yeah, here we go.
Might
News.
have an effect on
Let's
their
see if we can
decisions.
listen to the news while we're doing this.
America,
Not in English, apparently.
If you retain your American citizenship, then you pay tax on all your worldwide income, as far as I'm aware.
But people are desperate to come to this country. That's why they're killing themselves.
You know, I wonder if I could play music from The Long Dark on this.
Country in the world where we have the best laws. It's a safe country. You're nobody going to do anything to you within reason. And that's why people are desperate to come here. There's a reason why they risk their lives to come here, not reside in some other country or go to Denmark or Sweden. Because this is still, that's what it sounds, it's still a better country.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's why they come. More stay in France than come here, so I'm not sure that argument stands.
Yeah, I'm really reluctant to play some of these because I will probably get
we are lucky enough
There's a risk of copyright.
As the world's, if not first, then second language. And plus, they may have family here, and others just may have been misinformed that the roads are paved with gold. But thanks for that advice. Penzance, hello, Andrew.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Good, thanks.
When I hear people say, people come here because it's the greatest country, I'll just come out in hives. I mean, almost every other country in Europe takes more people than we do.
Yes.
Either actually or per capita in one of those. We see them.
Oops, too fast, too fast. Surprised I didn't get a ticket.
I was calling about, just before I come on to it, following your point about happiness and all that stuff. There's a wonderful book called The Spirit Level, written by a couple of Cambridge PhDs.
Yep, did it again.
The indices of happiness, like divorce rate, prison population, drug addiction, alcohol, suicide rate, and they plotted that against levels of equality.
It's not as, strangely, when it comes to streaming, it's not as easy as, say, The Long Dark. Mainly because The Long Dark obviously goes at a much slower pace. Whereas this, I've actually got to concentrate. So if anybody says anything in chat, there's a half a chance I'm going to miss it.
But anyway, the point I'm really calling for is that this bluff about taxing rich people and then leaving the country is just one of the four lying horsemen of the economic apocalypse. We hear about the junk food that this country takes, but we don't hear about the junk economics it consumes. And there's four messages that are really pushed by the right-wing press and the journalists, and they're swallowed and questioned, and they're all nonsense. The last time we spoke, you and I agreed that the idea that tax cuts create wealth is just ridiculous. There's no evidence for that whatsoever. No understand the hickles of it.
Well, you mean trickle-down economics?
Trickle-up economics is the actual truth.
That's exactly.
But then you have things like the Laffer curve. It's not named because it's laughable, which it is. But
Where did I say I was going? Oh. I just realised I got all these little lights at the top of the screen telling me things. Huh. I have no idea what some of those symbols do. And I need to be in the other lane. Hope I didn't sideswipe a Mercedes. Nürnberg, München. Going too fast, going too fast, yes. Oops. Hang on, where am I going? Apparently I'm just following the road around.
And his ilk would say that they pay all of the taxes legally due in every
I'm not.
jurisdiction in which they do business. I think that's the phrase. Andrew,
That was close.
that's a full and comprehensive answer, but I'm afraid that I've just run out of time on that, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Now, break to the news, after which the Health Secretary Wes Streeting will meet with the British Medical Association this week as he looks to avert strike action by resident doctors, used to be called junior doctors. They've been offered a 5.4% pay rise this year, which they claim does not make up for years of pay restraint, despite a 22% rise agreed for the previous 2 years. Now, with barely 1 in 4 voters back in the industrial action this time around, is it time for resident doctors to back down and accept the government offers, or do you still stand with their message for fairer pay? 0345 600 6060 973. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
On your radio, on the LBC app, and
Play LBC.
leading
And on Euro Truck Simulator 2.
is LBC.
I haven't listened to actual genuine radio in so long, it's ridiculous.
At 11 o'clock, witnesses have described seeing a huge fireball exploding into the air as a light aircraft crashed at Southend Airport. The 12-metre-long plane had been seen powering up and moving along the runway, but just a few seconds after takeoff, it began banking sharply to the left before hitting the ground. Footage shows a thick plume of smoke rising into the air afterwards. The MP for Southend East and Rochford, Bio Alaba, told LBC his initial reaction is one of shock and horror.
Certainly, my initial reaction is I'm truly gutted, and my thoughts and best wishes really go out to everybody involved and the families connected with this.
Israel's military has admitted there was a technical error with a missile that caused it to hit a water station in Gaza. 6 children who were queuing up in the centre of the strip are among the 10 people dead. Israel says the malfunction happened during an operation to target an Islamic militant. The governor of Kentucky says 2 people are dead after a series of shootings in the city of Lexington. Andy Bashir reported one of the incidents happened at a Baptist church. The state trooper is understood to be among the injured, with local police saying the suspect is now dead. A child has died at Alderhay Children's Hospital in Liverpool after becoming ill with measles and other health problems. Experts there have recently been concerned about an increase in cases of the virus. They've put it partly down to a drop in people getting vaccinated. And in tennis, the world number 1 Jannik Sinner has defeated the defending champion Carlos Alcaraz to win his first Wimbledon title. The Italian won the match in 4 sets to prevent the Spanish world number 2 from winning his 3rd Wimbledon final in a row.
Is it Wimbledon at the moment?
Only 35 days ago, Jannik
Just goes to show how much attention I've been paying.
championship point to lose out on the French Open
Used to
title
watch
for Carlos
Wimbledon
Alcaraz,
quite-
but this was the perfect response from the world number 1.
When I was a kid.
Serving masterclass after falling a set behind. 3 crucial breaks of serve to end Alcaraz's reign. Sinner told the outgoing champion he intends to keep hold of the trophy as he won the latest instalment of what's turning into a fascinating rivalry.
LBC weather, showery rain moving in over the south and west with the chance of thunder across parts of Northern Ireland. Another warm night but turning breezy in the north with lows of 16 degrees. From Global's newsroom for LBC, I'm James Kitchen.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbott.
West Streeting is set to hold last-ditch talks with doctors' union leaders in an effort to avoid
Got a suspicion when this finishes rendering, I will get a copyright warning for the music I inadvertently played. Good news is,
the new leader of the British
I'll get the opportunity to delete the music, but I hadn't even thought about that.
Could go on for years. Let's talk about this with Stephen Dorrell. Stephen is a health commentator, previously Secretary of State for Health and Chair of the NHS Confederation. Good evening, Stephen.
Evening, Nick.
The feeling among junior doctors is that they've lost a quarter of their income since 2008, and a 29% pay rise would take them back to par, adjusted for inflation.
Where am I going?
Anything at less than that, they say,
Oh,
would mean
almost
that
there.
they're working a quarter of their time for free compared to 17 years ago. Do you see it that way?
I don't really see it that way, but more importantly, I think that it's important, actually, that we get out of the rut of this being
Here we go,
a trade union
I think.
negotiating head-to-head with the Secretary of State. That was what was intended to be avoided by setting up the independent review bodies. That look
And
at
thank you
doctors,
everybody for watching.
teachers and so on pay.
All one of you.
And make
Or anyone who
from an independent viewpoint.
finds this
One
later.
of the things that I think the government has
I'm going to bring this to an end now, because it's very late for me.
is just to remind people. Actually, the resident doctors were recognised to have a particular case by the review body. The review body did make a more generous offer to the resident doctors than to the rest of the medical profession.
I hope that was moderately interesting.
On this
It was kind of different for me.
I think that
as a streaming experience. Might have to do that again.
Independent review of doctors' pay.
Well, everybody, have a good morning, have a good evening, have a good afternoon. I'll be streaming again at 9 o'clock Greenwich time.
Review body was.
Well, you're using the word independent a lot. I mean, the government says that they have
Long
honoured the
dark.
doctors and dentists review body recommendations on
Back
pay.
to my
The BMA
normal
say
weekday
that
schedule,
body is not independent of government direction,
which means the
and
long
that
dark in the
it
morning,
recommends what
and in the
government
evenings,
wanted to
whatever I
recommend,
feel like,
essentially.
whenever I feel like it.
Firstly, I don't think that's true. But
So,
secondly, if
thanks
the
for
BMA
watching.
wants to have a
See you all
negotiation
next
discussion
time.
about how to
And I just
ensure
got to
that there
remember
is
to escape the game
review body
first
process that
before
they
I start
recognise
pressing
as
buttons,
independent.
because
I think that's
otherwise
an
I'm going to...
entirely sensible conversation for them to have with the Secretary of State.
Hang on a second.
But the idea that we have
How do I get out of this?
head-to-head discussions between doctors, leaders, teachers, leaders, other professional
Yep.
group, nurses, leaders,
Go
and
back
the
to the title
Secretary of
screen.
State, each time there's an annual review.
Right. Like I say, see you all next time. And I wish I knew what was beeping. Oh, it's my phone. It's my phone.